Alrighty, folks, we're here with yet another episode. 112. We are on now. At least that's what I believe it to be. Oh goodness, we're quite far into this series of mine here. And it's not the first time I've come to that realization. I'll be honest. It's been a long time. Well, not super long, but it's been a minute for sure. Not really that today's anything all that special, but it's just one of those times I'm just thinking about everything. Anyway, though, welcome to the episode here. Oh, hello everybody. Doggy here, taking the blow from the creeper. Uh, yeah, the raw pork seems to be doing okay. I don't know if I need to cook it, but yeah. Anyway, before Stuart got or get interrupted by that explosion there with the creeper. Yeah, we're on episode 112. So yeah, we're here. I'm back. I'm doing a commentary episode again. And I guess there's been some new developments. I think I talked about it in my last one, but with all the editing, I've just been really excited about all that now. All the editing stuff I've been doing. Of course, it's not applicable to this series. So yeah, all my non Journey to the Farlands, I was gonna say non Minecraft, but non Journey to the Farlands series they're all gonna be edited, and older episodes will maybe touched at some point. I may do it for Minecraft through time first, because hardcore adventures it doesn't really matter. I might get to that at some point. We'll see. But I'm kind of churning through some videos. Over time, over the next few weeks, I'll be kind of editing a little bit. I'll be kind of trying to focus on the weekly videos, like making sure they upload edited. So I've done 2 of those now. I did Minecraft through time, the previous episode, or not the previous, the most recent one. I'm going to be filming another one, hopefully this weekend. So yeah, and they'll upload throughout the week because I'm recording them on like Saturday, Sunday, maybe Friday, but probably Saturday or Sunday. So I usually get around to editing them like a day or 2 later. So I got to editing I guess I'll just take the most recent one, the Hardcore Adventures, the restart we did. I decided to process that one or kind of start editing it the day after, and I managed to get it all edited before the end of Monday. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna upload it, see how it performs. It's performed not too bad. I think it's better. I think it's definitely better than how I previously filmed them. And I guess that may suggest that Journey to the Farlands here is a little bit more archaic. But I'm fine with that. I don't really want to edit this many videos anyway. I might do some of the important ones, like edit them a little bit. Like if maybe I'll do Sickly Sightseeing or the Outpost episodes. Just the stuff that is kind of important or my kind of my illness, especially with sickly sightseeing, like when I had COVID and stuff, that definitely impacted the quality of that video. So I've been kind of doing a bit of that stuff. I've been thinking about editing and all that. I'm not formally editing. I'm still using YouTube Studio, so my editing is still going to be a little weird because I just do it based off the level of silence in the video. Like if it's like a long break, I go between talking points. Then I just edit it out so you just get things. But I know that sometimes it may be a little jarring to go from so many different things at once. But I don't know. I'm trying something new out. I'll shift it and adjust it as, of course, you guys suggest, and also I just figure because that's kind of how I've been doing it for the 7 months, or not 7 months, but I guess the 5 months I've been uploading to YouTube. I've just been kind of figuring out what I want to do and just doing it, or at least trying to. At least trying to. But yeah, I'm definitely keeping myself busy. It's been a busy week. I haven't really had a whole lot of time to play games. Like I've played during the Farlands. I've gotten one out every day. I've tried not to take break or too many breaks. I mean I will if I need to, but I luckily can fit Journey of the Farlands in pretty nicely because usually my cutoff point for stuff is around. I mean today it was around 9 o'clock here, just I guess 9:20, which is what time it is here where I'm at right now. or it's almost 9:30 now. But when I started, it was like 9:20. It's been 6 minutes. Um, but I've had some time to allot for the series, and that's good. I'm able to keep myself busy, but I'm able to also keep the series here tethered and continue our journey towards the Farlands as I've promised. Promised to myself mainly. I mean, I'm sure you guys also want to watch me get there, but I'm excited. I don't know if you can't tell already from the 112 episodes I've done, plus more because there's megasodes and weird one-off things not unaccounted for, and all the walking that didn't occur or that I didn't film. The like 1 million, 1.5 million blocks I walked off camera, but we basically walked almost that same amount on camera. We're almost at 3 million, so we're basically 1.5 million blocks into streaming. So it'll be you'll be able to watch so much. Although I'm sure no one will let you watch everything. That's not really what the expectation is, as I've made clear multiple occasions. It's more or less just an archiving purpose. That's why I'm leaving these uncut for the most part. I mean, I cut out breaks if I try to. I'm gonna probably, maybe one of these weekends, if I get a nice long weekend like Easter weekend, if I can get some time in, I might do a bit of editing on old Journey of the Farlands videos, just go through them all and cut out all the breaks. And maybe for the commentary ones, like I said, do a little bit of minor editing, but it'll be still relatively the same. No commentary episodes I don't edit. So if unless like weird things happen in them, like things that are unexpected, then I'll edit them. But I usually don't edit them because I don't really expect people to watch them. They're more or less just there as archive of at least my walking that like at least video representation. I think it's good to be able to archive it. So I could literally just be like, where was I at 2.1 million? And I can find that exact point. I could find an exact point, just any number. I mean, up to 1 million, pretty much, or more. Because it was September. It was the end of September. I reached 1 million in Journey to the Farlands, which is only like a month and a half. Only like a month and a half, I'd say, into the journey, we reached 1 million. So you'd assume by 3 months I would have reached 2, but it was like more like 4. I think more like 4 that I reached 2, because my pacing's been changing all of the sort, because I walked during the summer, which I was only working, but I had like days off, so I was able to just get so much time in on my days off. And then school came around, and it was an easier semester last semester, so I was able to get in a lot more walking. But my pace definitely still slowed compared to the summer. And then this semester is way more busy, so I have like homework every day for pretty much everything, as opposed to like only a few things last semester, thing here, thing there sort of deal. So it's a bit more busy, so I haven't had enough time to really get my hands dirty with some other stuff. So I've just been doing Journey to the Farlands for the most part. Sarber's been kind of starving, but I also like to play that in larger chunks. Like I played it over the March break a few days straight. Well, not straight, but like a few days, pretty long play sessions. So I was able to do the trading hall and all that. I gotta definitely check out what Brody's been up to, because he's told me he's been up to some stuff, so I might have to see that. But that's kind of where I'm at there. And the weekends are kind of my time to kind of chill out a little bit, because I usually don't get much work to do on the weekend until I get a job, which will be probably soon. I know I've said that for like the last 2 months. I've been on the job hunt for a while. That's why I don't really know when I'm going to get a job, but I assume it'll be at least within the next month or 2, maybe 3. Ideally within the next few weeks, but we'll see. And as for other series, like on the weekends, I film my other stuff. So I do like a bi-weekly thing for each series, other than Journey of the Farlands, of course, and Sarber, because Sarber's just kind of there. I'll just stream that when I get around to it, or if I even feel like streaming it again. But like this week's episode will be Minecraft through time, and then next week's will be Hardcore Adventures 2, and then so on and so forth. And then if I get more comfortable and I feel like editing or doing 2 episodes a week and just setting them for a day, like do a Tuesday upload and a Thursday upload or something, then I may do that. It just means that the videos will come out a bit later than I stream them, because I'll have to edit them. But I'm gonna stick with the bi-weekly for now. While I'll be, yeah, I think this is a good idea. Because I don't really have time to film throughout the week. I do Journey to the Farlands throughout the week. Like this time I'm doing this would probably be a good time to film Sarber, like do like longer stuff for Sarber. If I got some editing program, that would be kind of neat to do like some more progress update style stuff. But I don't have an editing program, so I'm just sticking with the live streams for now. I know there's free ones out there. I'll have to look into them at some point. I've just been lazy and I've just been like complacent with YouTube Studio, which it works pretty nicely for what I want to do. My minimalistic editing style. My bare bones. It's very bare bones. Definitely compared to a lot of other stuff I see recently. But I think it's pretty beneficial to have the shorter episodes. Like the hardcore episode, I mean, for example, that was 2 hours of raw footage. I filmed it for a good 2 hours. 2 hours, 2 hour 20 minutes or so. I think it was just past an hour I finished filming that. And I managed to edit it down through, I guess, Sunday and Monday. Or I guess Sunday night I started editing it, and then Monday I finished it. And I edited it down to 20 minutes. So if you want to watch that, it's 20 minutes, 20-minute video. It's definitely a little bit less taxing than some of my other videos, like Journey to the Farlands, for example. I guess some of the hour-long episodes are a bit better, but there's no real short episodes. Only the short ones are like, I don't get a whole lot of commentary in because I'm still talking live, so it's just like you're watching half the amount of commentary. When in reality, probably what you'd want to look for in a shorter video would be more commentary, kind of the juicier bits of the commentary for a longer thing, like what I do with Hardcore Adventures now and Minecraft Through Time. Although Minecraft Through Time is a bit more, although like my Minecraft Let's Play there is a little bit more, what's the word? It's a bit more there's a lot more commentary involved in it. I talk a lot more in that series, so I try to keep the episodes a bit longer, so those might be more 30, 45 minutes out of like the raw footage I gather. I mean, this weekend I'm going to be filming a fair bit of it if I do get to filming it, which, I mean, if I'm available to film, like if I have a few hours I can film, then that would be great because I got to finish my base and we got to get ready for beta. That's kind of what's going to be going on there. Our Nether adventure will also be next episode. So I'll kind of cut that down too. So it should be interesting, an interesting episode as well. You're kind of getting two ends of things, the older stuff and then the newer stuff. I don't really have a Journey to the Farlands like traditional episode format like I do for the other two. I just film these live and I upload them to YouTube. I'm like, yep, here you go. Nice 2 hour long commentary with a bunch of no commentary mixed in. And by a bunch, I mean a majority, because I don't have it in me to do that many commentary videos. Unless I want to sacrifice, or if I want to like do the compromise where I do like 2 or 3, 1 to 3 commentary videos a week, but then I'm only doing like 1 or 2 hours per episode. And that's a lot of videos to film. I film that amount by default. I usually do like 1 to 3 average. So I can't imagine having to edit them with my current schedule anyway. And with a job and stuff, I might have less time to edit throughout the week. So I'm not going to be getting super professional on you guys too quickly. I'm going to try and keep it to how I want it to be, which is getting rid of some of the boring bits in the other stuff, because I really want to just get rid of the fluff for that. I can keep all the fluff for Journey to the Farlands because it's all fluff. It's all just me walking. There's not really anything else to it. And I've kind of made it kind of a plan that I don't really intend to get rid of too much of the walking through editing. So I just do breaks and things. That's my 16-minute discussion about everything basically. I guess that is a bit of everything there. But yeah, that's the current state of events. But what is exactly going on now with Journey to the Farlands? Well, I like how I ask these questions that I don't really have an answer. I'm just like, well, there's there's a lot that really just it just kind of doesn't really change. That's something that's a little bit interesting. It's just that the series just never will change. It never will. At least until I decide to quit or reach the Farlands or whatever. I don't know, whatever outcome we get to. But it's basically just gonna be this. You know, however many 100 more episodes it takes. Just on loop. Yes, that is very peculiar indeed. Although I've talked to great deal about beta and the Farlands and the general gesture on the series. I feel like that's all that has really been said. I'm trying to think of anything that I might have glazed over. I feel like in my 57 episodes of commentary I've done, I might have some lick of sense. So if I was going by that kind of metric for episodes, I would be at episode 57 right now. But I count no commentary. Because every episode is an episode, regardless of whether I'm talking or not. That's my idea behind it. I've seen other Farland peoples do that same metric, so I'm just doing that because I feel like it makes the most sense to me. I think around the time I started doing no commentary, like I was asking Devin if I should do just the commentary episodes as the numbered ones, because that was when I was still doing just only commentary, and I did a bunch of no commentary, like I didn't film it, like I just did off camera, and I'd talk about that. If you watch episodes 1 through 11 or more, I don't remember. There's a handful, but there's like a good 11 or so episodes where I talk about off camera walking, and I don't do that anymore. Everything you see is what you get. What I'm doing is all on camera. I don't really bother doing it off camera anyway, for archiving sake and just for the general idea, the general premise of the series now. Dealio there. So yeah, I did end up deciding to do commentary and non-commentary just mixed into the numbering. Cause I believe a few other people have done it like that too. I literally just posed the question to Devin. Usually I do that though for Journey to the Farlands. Like back at the very beginning, Devin was the person who helped me decide whether to go to the regular Farlands or the corner, and he said the corner would be kind of neat. So I was like, yeah, okay. Because I kind of was leaning towards the corner anyway, because I was like, oh yeah, 2 sets of Farlands, but I was like, walking is going to be a lot slower. That was only like a few days into the journey at that point. That was back when I was such a young spring chicken. Such a young spry. No, I'm just kidding. I'm still in that relative state, but I've definitely changed a fair bit. You'll have noticed. Because like among the first videos I had filmed, that was the Journey of the Farlands was one of the main things I did. I didn't really stream a whole lot back before Journey of the Farlands. I did Newcraft 3 like a few times, like I did the original stuff. And then I did a dragon battle, which would have been episode 2, but I've talked about before how episode 2 just got lost to time because I forgot to highlight it. That was back when I just used to highlight things on Twitch rather than uploading it to YouTube, because I just upload it now. But I still have all those old highlights up until the last one when I decided, you know what, I'm finally just going to move over to YouTube. Also, another recent thing, I don't know if that actually really matters to any of you, but for my notebook here, I write my chords in it for each day. Like I write, today I started at, where did I start today? We started at 2,843,666 blocks. And there'll be like a dash and it'll go to another coordinate, which is where we'll end up today after this episode. But yeah, I've decided to get rid of the amount I've walked, so I won't really know how many blocks I've walked in a day now. I'll just have to eyeball it. So I guess that kind of helps me get over my kind of mindsets for this series. Like it kind of is helping to break that a little bit. Because really the solution I would think of to kind of fix a little bit of my complex going on with wanting to walk a lot would just be forgetting the coordinates and just going by the coattails sort of thing. But I think you guys also enjoy knowing where I'm at. I can kind of tell because people have asked me where I'm at, and I wouldn't really want to lose that. So we'll keep the coordinates. I just won't know how many I've walked in a day, which really won't affect the YouTube or anything. It really won't affect how I talk about things, because if I do a megasode or some long video, I'm still gonna be like, we walked 4K today, or no, 4K in a long episode. Yeah, 40K is more like it. I think it takes me about 5 hours to walk 30K. Maybe, well, actually, I don't know, because I've walked 10K in a short amount of time, and sometimes I walk 10K in a long amount of time, because it really depends on what I'm doing. If I'm being a real klutz, or if I'm being a real wanderer, and I'm like, ooh, look at this, which is what I usually do, I tend to be slower. So I'm sure walking diagonally is slow, but also my kind of looking about and all that probably may slow it down a bit too. But I think really the only real reason I'm not like halfway to the Farlands by now or something is just because I'm not, or not halfway, but like I could be like 3/4 if I was walking 30K a day. But I'm not that it's not, I'm committed, but I don't have that much time on my hands to do that. I don't have like that much time freed up. If I did, that would be great. I mean, even at the start of the series, I was averaging 30K, but that was when that was summer. That was when I didn't have school to worry about and didn't have a job, or I had a job, but it wasn't really that big a worry for me. So, yeah, I think that's kind of why I'm not super far towards the Farlands. We're only nearing about a quarter of the way, and soon thereafter a third, which will be cool to see. I should get my bed up here though. How's Stuart doing? Okay, you should come over here. I don't like it when Stuart teleports up to here. I mean, it's nice and all that he wants to see me up on top of my bed, but also it's a little bit annoying because he tends to push me off or fall off and lose hearts and things, so, or take damage or whatever, and it's a bit annoying. So I just try and make sure he's on the ground so you can have a nice little snooze. I don't sit him down every night, but I like to imagine that Stuart has like a nice nap along with me every night, because I feel like if he's just sitting there just wagging his tail, just panting the whole night, I feel like that's a bit unrealistic. So, I mean, we're talking about Minecraft here, but also I can have my own visions for all that stuff. We're on the gravel beaches today. This I'm kind of getting reminded of the, what is it called, the 404 challenge, or something like that. It was with the gravel platform, and you'd break the gravel and it would fall into a cave, and you'd have to see how long you could survive just based off the cave. I think you like punch a tree first or something, or rather, but yeah, it was kind of like that kind of thing where you see how long you can survive. So you basically get ready and then you fall into the cave. That's kind of neat. And kind of the gravel, I think probably because the world seed for that is in one of these old versions, like with the old textures. Because I just see this and I think of that. It's probably been like that for a long time because I've known about that for a little while. This is also coming from someone who never played beta or alpha when they first came out. Because I was literally too young to even think about playing beta or alpha. I got around to Minecraft with like 1.6, release 1.6, so a lot of the older Minecraft talk is just me talking out of like wiki or videos I've watched, or something or rather to that nature. So kind of take it with a grain of salt, and especially you older players, I'm sure, will be like, that kind of thing. But it's alrighty. I'm learning. I'm like a little nostalgic for a version I never played, although I'd say, well, I did play Xbox when it first came out, which was 2012, and that was when it was like beta 1.6. So I think, and also Pocket Edition too, when it first was like around in 2011 and that kind of stuff, when it was really early on. So I guess I kind of get some twisted sense of nostalgia, like a bit of a, it's a little bit bent because I remember vaguely playing Xbox in its early versions, and I remember playing, I mean, even Java in release 1.6, which is definitely farther down the line than this. It's like a year or two later, or more, because it was only like 1.3 in 2013. 1.3, 1.45, yeah. So it would have been like 20, yeah, something or other. One of those years. So you'll get a lot of those ballparks estimates from me just because I'm not from this time, which is very odd, probably for the average person just being like, why? Which I've gotten a few people who are like, why do you play old Minecraft like this? Even people who enjoy the old Minecraft have asked. But I'm kind of a little bit nostalgic for an era that I never really played, but I kind of played similar versions that were a lot like this in progression and things. Because when I was a kid, I didn't do like the full progression. Like I didn't get to the Ender Dragon when I was a kid. It took me many years. It was like not until 2020 when I actually first decided to face the Ender Dragon. That's how long it took. I've been playing since 2012, and I finally got around to the Ender Dragon, like legitimately. Like I've seen it like for years, and I've fought it in creative mode before, but survival I really never got a good footing in until 2019 was when I really started taking survival to the next level. Because basically my initial experiences with Minecraft was Pocket Edition creative mode, like Minecraft Lite and all that, where you're building things and there's not really that element of survival. I guess Minecraft Lite did have a survival mode a little bit, but it wasn't it wasn't like complete hardcore survival. Well, not hardcore, but it wasn't complete like survival. But yeah, I definitely remember creative mode being a big thing I was into. I did play a fair bit of survival, but I never really made it super far. Probably because most of the versions I'd played had limited progression up to like diamond level, and that was basically my end game back then for many years was just getting diamonds. So basically anyone who had diamonds to me was just epic, and then I didn't even know about enchanting and things for a long time too. Because I played early Minecraft and then I just transitioned over to creative mode for many years. And I played only like a few little odd survival worlds. But I only really got iron tier and then maybe a bit of diamond. And I'd build like very simple homes. Like I wasn't super big into building in survival. I just dig a hole or I could build a wooden little shack or something. And that's how it was for many years. And then I eventually, I mean, I guess even in 2013 and stuff, I built some decent looking homes in Minecraft, but that was creative. I was a very creative builder, but I didn't really think about applying that to survival. I more just used creative as the tool, and survival was just my way to just get to iron tier and just be like, yeah, I beat the game. So I guess that's why I never I got super far on Java when I had it. I had it in 2012. Like my account's been around since that era there, but I never really got around to the later stuff. I just played the base survival, and then I'd feel complete, and then I just go back to my creative worlds, and that was really how it worked. So that's kind of why I guess with that long-winded explanation and rant, or not rant, but like that long-winded tangent and things, just my whole discussion there. Long story short, the TLDR was just that I'm nostalgic for this because it kind of reminds me of those times when I played the game and I didn't really play it to its fullest. Like now, I definitely play it a lot further than I would have done years ago. Like I like to build fun things and all that. I mean, during the Farlands, we don't prove that. We're just boating around, puttering around, walking. Going where the kind of just the water, the land takes us, or my compass, this compass, or my the compass that's inside my head. Not a physical compass, of course. That would be probably painful, but um, right. Oh, how is Stewie doing anyway? That's good. He's doing all right. But I don't know. I feel like, well, especially when I was watching like Evo, and like, even in 2017, that was when I got into Evo, of course, and old Minecraft for the first time. I'd remembered old Minecraft for a long time, but I never really went back to it ever. I think the only time I ever really went back to it was years later, like 2019 or 18 maybe. I played Alpha for the first time, and when I watched Evo initially, like Green's Evo SMP, where they're going through versions, it's kind of like what I do in Minecraft through time. Of course, I've said that before, but it's kind of like what I do there, except it's multiplayer and they're pranking and things. It's more like a kind of more of that Hermitcraft lore stuff going on. But not at any rate, I definitely did. Like I used to think, like when they played in those old versions, I thought that was alpha, and that was just beta 1.2. I was like, oh, alpha looks kind of cool. And then years later, I played alpha. And I was like, this is nothing like Evo. I'm like, and then it only took me like to like the last year, where I was like, oh, it's actually just alpha. Well, I think I kind of knew it was alpha initially, then I kind of just forgot about that or something, because it kind of clicked a few years later, and I'd only really gotten to know beta and alpha more recently with Journey to the Farlands. If you'd asked me like months before about a lot of this stuff, I probably wouldn't have known a whole lot. Like I knew the general stages of the game, like classic, cave game, pre-classic, or I guess pre-classic was cave game, pre-classic, classic, in dev, inf dev, alpha, beta, release, all that jazz. I would have generally known, but definitely now I've grown a lot more accustomed, and I kind of know a lot more now about these old things, these old archaic versions. I definitely see the appeal with beta, because beta, I feel like alpha is definitely a lot more simple. Like I'm playing alpha right now. I feel like beta has a lot more that alpha doesn't. How like beta definitely builds a lot on alpha, and then release is way different. Of course, beta 1.8 and release are different from the pre 1.8 beta 1.8 days. Uh, yeah, that certainly plays a role. But I've talked about before how I kind of like the eeriness of, or at least the alpha and beta days, because the game just feels so different. And it's almost eerie just how isolated you are. There's no structures, like there's only dungeons, so it just feels like you're alone in the world. Whereas in modern Minecraft, you see like these pillagers and the drowned, and you see these ocean monuments and the villages and strongholds and all that jazz. So it definitely shows that there are people there before you, but here there's just dungeons. That's it. So it really you feel a lot more alone, and it kind of makes the game feel a bit more eerie. And I think definitely the texture, like the aesthetic differences and the functional differences, like how you can't sprint, that also definitely changes the pace of the game. Like if Journey to the Farlands was done in modern Minecraft, it'd be way different. We'd have horses, we'd have sprinting, food mechanics to worry about. And I mean, Fig has done that. He's gone to the world border in modern Minecraft. You can check that out. I'd recommend. I'm sure I haven't watched like every second of it, but from what I have seen, it does look pretty good. I'm definitely not no shame in that plug-in Fig like that. He's an epic chap. But anyway, anywho, yeah, beta is just something else. There's just a charm to beta that doesn't exist anymore in modern Minecraft. It's clearly long gone, of course, and I think, well, for good reason, because I mean, it would be kind of been of neat, or it would have kind of been neat to see what would have happened if release wasn't so drastic, like if they built upon beta a bit more. But I feel like it all kind of worked out in the end. Um, like regardless, like I'm quite happy with the way things are with modern Minecraft because I do play modern Minecraft. I'm not one of those people who's like, old Minecraft is the only way. I like both ways, so I like a little bit of both. Oh, quite the excess, I'll admit. Quite the excess of resource, but that's alright. It is a-okay. I might have a raw pork chop. We'll just have our inventory full of stuff here. But yeah. I like to play both beta and modern Minecraft. Let them coexist with my series and things. And Minecraft through time will evolve, but this, of course, won't. This is going to be a permanently beta 1.7.3 world. We're just going to have to deal with that. I've considered like changing the version once we get to the Farlands, but I'm also just gonna keep it in beta 1.7.3. I mean, maybe far in the future I decide to change my mind because that's we're talking hundreds of episodes, so hmm, it may change, but at least the way I'm currently thinking about it, I'm planning to just keep it in this version. That's a bit of the nostalgic thing, and it could just be a beta 1.7 world. I've said that before. I've said that before so many times just because I have. Although I tend to rerun the records a little bit, rerun my tracks a little bit, that kind of thing. Say the same thing every once in a while. Maybe the same two episodes, right? The last episode and this episode I repeat some dialogue, but whatever. I'm just a little bit like that. A little bit like that sometimes. Anyhow, let's see exactly how far we've gone in my endless 40-minute dialogue here. 48k. We've gone about 5,000 blocks in the time I've in the time since I've started smacking my gums. I think it's definitely easier to do streaming with me just talking, as even easier when people are here chatting. I think it's definitely the easiest with people here chatting, and then the no commentary, like the pure no commentary, like if I'm not doing anything but just staring at the screen, it's the slowest thing ever, the slowest slog to get through. But when I'm watching stuff like YouTube and things, it tends to pass a little bit better. But I think the best is really the commentary with people chatting. I've gone through entire episodes and I'm like, that was an episode kind of thing. Especially with hardcore adventures where I'm like trying to actively do different things like that. Also, that series goes by very quickly. I'm like filming an episode and I'm like, whoa, episode's already over and I've gotten diamond already and all this stuff because I'm just so used to during the Farlands being the same thing for the entire episode, and when it's like super different and I'm doing all these things, it definitely shifts things a little. But it's good. I like the variety. It's definitely nice to keep the old and kind of have some new stuff. I'm kind of figuring out some new plans for these new series, and I'm kind of keeping the old around, the old reliable sort of thing. But yes, indeed. Oh, and I guess I forgot to mention. Actually, I don't know if I did, but I made a commentary only playlist for Journey to the Farlands. It should be on the channel page now. Like if you go to playlists on my channel, it should be there now. There's like about, like I said earlier, 57 episodes or so in that, and it's all just me talking, all me smacking my gums, and it's unedited. So have fun. Eat your heart out, sort of deal. You can just watch it, and that's all just. Oh my goodness, this dog. Okay, how are we doing? Okay. Yeah, I don't really need to worry about cooking the meat. I realize I feel like we're okay. And then next thing you know, he's like lost like 99% of his health, and I'm like scrambling because I've done that before. So I'm gonna try and keep my eye out for pigs so I can keep my stock up here. Oh, I forgot to drink water. That's one thing I forget to do is drink water. Keep my pipes a little you know keep the hydration going. That is all. That was something I should definitely think of very importantness. So in terms of filming, I think I'll do about another hour. So you got like an hour and 40-minute video today, maybe 2 hours, kind of around that mark. So it'll be a nice long commentary video. If I decide to do commentary throughout the whole thing, which if I continue the way I am, I'm sure I'm just quite the chatterbox today. It'll be quite that case. I'm just thinking of things because there's like the whole origin. Oh, we should probably go the other way, Stuart. Yeah, it's a little dangerous for you. If you take damage from that fall, I feel like going the other way is a little better. Okay, we'll kind of wander around. This is probably also why I'm a bit slow, because I have to like wander around like this a little bit, do some acrobatics sometimes, getting about. But so be it, I say. If Stuart gets to live longer by it, then I am perfectly fine doing that. Just making sure to do a bit of a resource kind of check every once in a while, because I sometimes forget that I need to gather things like wood and coal, because those aren't real, and I guess wool as well. Those are the kind of the things that I forget about sometimes. And I'm like on the fritz with all my gear as well, which is kind of funny. I also forget about that. Well, until it breaks, that is, of course, and then I have to repair it, or I just don't have tools. I guess I make iron tools, but I'd rather just use the diamonds, because diamond is very good. I don't have to bother enchanting it, so I'm not feeling like I'm missing out on anything by not enchanting, because it literally doesn't exist. I think I've had people say what if I ask me if I'm playing a mod pack or something. I'm like, ouch, I don't know if anyone's actually asked that. I feel like someone might have asked a question like that a long time ago. They're asking like, what mod am I playing, or like what is this sort of thing? It's like Minecraft, whatever. But it's funny how some people might think this is a mod just because of how different it is. But it's just an old Minecraft. That's all it is. It's hard to believe that this is like what predated like what we know now. It's just so different. But yeah, how the times change. How the times change. Most indeedly so. But anyhow, I'm gonna have a sip of my water here. Ah, nice. Nice cold beverage to keep me in check. But yes. Oh yeah, I forgot there's Final Life that's probably happening on Saturday. I'm just trying to work out my schedule for the weekend, see if I can. I mean, it'd probably be Saturday morning / afternoon that I'd do it. But yes, yeah, it'd probably be Saturday. Sunday I could probably dedicate to editing and maybe doing some Jerry to the Farlands or something. We'll see. We will see. Sometimes I just am so aware of just how many times I say the name, but it's my series. I just say the name a lot because there's really no other way to put it. The journey, I also call it the journey when I'm just trying to be cool, a bit more casual. Trying to keep that casuality going. But anywho, I also notice how cursed these trees look too. Like, or not cursed, but they like have the logs don't rotate, of course, because it's beta. But the trees are just so different looking. They're like more bulbous, if that makes sense. They got more of that like circular shape to them. Like these trees, you still see these around, but those, they're a bit different. They're about the same, but You don't really see the huge branches like that anymore. But for the most part, the trees have relatively remained untouched. At least for without accounting for some minor, there are some texture changes and some minor differences in generation. But and of course, the new tree types that have been added over the years, over the many years of Minecraft's time. But yeah, that was a bit good to focus on. I was thinking I like the bi-weekly schedule for the videos now that I'm thinking about it. I just like it that way because it works nicely. It means you still got at least one video per week that's non-Journey to the Farlands. And I'm sure some people might enjoy a little bit of a break, a bit of a detour, and I especially do because haven't really gotten much of a chance to play too much else. Like even other games, I've just been occupied quite a bit. But at least I'm lucky that I have a bit of a cutoff point for when I start playing Journey to the Farlands. That's usually my game time. So now this is just eating that up. Eating it up. Oh, and one thing I forget to do, I'm just notoriously bad for backups. I forget to do backups of this series. And I really should. At least for like the last 2 streams, at least. So I can like, if I screw up, then I can go back at least 1. And then maybe 2. If it really is that bad. But I feel like that is a smart idea, but I just don't think of it. I just forget to back up. And I think my last backup is from a few weeks ago. So yeah, I'm not the most wary person, I guess you could say. And then next thing you know, I have to use a backup, and then it's like, oh, I have no backup. That kind of thing. And that's just crappy. Crappy situation. But anyhow, that is just something I deal with for not having to backup or for not wanting to back up things. Another thing is probably hardcore adventures or Minecraft through time. I feel like all of them could be backed up, but I just forget about it. And then, you know, Minecraft through time gets corrupted, and then I'm out in the entire series. Like if I lose that world, it's gone because I don't have any copies. I feel like I'm like trying to sell myself into doing that. Like I'm trying to like, you know, it's really important. And I'm just like, I don't care. But I don't know. I'm sure plenty of you guys are like, why don't you just back it up? But I'm like, I just forget also. I'm very forgetful, I notice. I tend to forget things quite often. That's why it's difficult for me to keep things going sometimes because I forget, but most of the stuff with the YouTube here, I remember fairly nicely. It just means I tend to repeat myself sometimes. I also just repeat myself when I'm out of ideas, when I'm just bankrupt creatively, which definitely does happen when I work on a schedule like this, but we doing okay. We doing good. I'm working to my own like excitement of my own drive. My own drive. Getting some very standard terrain here. It's always kind of neat. That's also something I kind of like. Is just how everything's just new. Like it's always just new. One of my favorite things of Journey to the Farlands is just this is something I've never seen, and nor will I never see again. Very likely never will see any of this again. Because, you know, I'm just walking on by and I'm just going to forget about it because it's like how your perception of time works. It becomes more retrospective than perspective because right now it's perspective. I'm in the moment. But in due course, this will not really be all that remembered. Like this specific terrain, I won't remember probably. Unless I make a clear mental image of it, which I may have just done by talking about it, but I don't know. I feel like for the most part, most of the Journey of the Farlands I do remember is from the beginning. And as time has gone on, it's kind of become more faded, the newer stuff. Like, it's funny how the newer stuff becomes more faded quicker. But I guess it just shows that I'm more, more just used to it now. And I just kind of, I'm walking for the sake of walking. And I'm just here. Whatever happens, happens sort of deal. Oh, where are we at, though? Oh, we're about 2.85 epic. Oh, I might have to feed him a quick pork chop. How are we doing? Okay, we're doing okay. Oh, it's been a little while now. It's been over 10 episodes since we've gotten Wolf, Pet Wolf Stewart here. Stewie. I've been leaning more towards Stewie, I realize. Called him Stewie way more times than Stewart, but they're both his name. Stewie is the name I call him, and you guys are definitely welcome to call him that as well. Yeah, but yeah, indeed. Oh, I'm tired. It's only midweek as well. It's Wednesday today as I'm filming it. I mean, it'll be uploaded on Wednesday as well, but in case any of you guys are curious, it's Wednesday today for me. Wednesday evening. And it's been a long week, and it's only halfway through the week. I've had multiple tests go on, so it's been a very interesting week for sure. I still have one more to go tomorrow, so we'll see how the rest of the week goes. Hopefully Friday should be a bit more chill. I'm doing something Friday night, and then probably Saturday will be my kind of day. I do a whole lot of playing stuff. Like I might do the Realm, and I might do Journey of the Farlands. It's kind of hard to balance because I kind of want to do both equally, but of course, equal is never equal to me. I always have to pick one. I always have to have favoritism. Like Journey of the Farlands has been the fave, the clear fave over pretty much everything. Like I've done a Starber I'm excited about, but definitely not as excited about that as I am walking to the Farlands. But Starber's kind of on the back burner right now, and so is Nico's server, just because I feel like trying to make something active is becoming harder and harder, especially as I am now getting more busy. Like before it was just other people, and I was just like, oh, too bad that they're so busy and I just have so much time to play, and I just, that kind of thing. But now I'm in that position where I'm getting more busy and I don't really have the time to commit to all these things. So I just have to pick and choose now. I've definitely reached that point now where I'm more picky choosy about things where I really have to, because otherwise I'm just not going to get anything done anywhere. Like I was like, oh, I'll play the realm once a day sort of thing, but I don't have time for that. I could always do like 20 or like half an hour, but I don't know. I don't know. It's not really, it's not where it's at. I actually wanted to play on Sarber today. I actually felt like I wanted to play on it, like get some stuff from the Villager Trading Hall, but I, of course, got around to Journey to the Farlands quicker because I was studying for physics. So I was a bit preoccupied for the most part today. So I only got around to this now. Oh, I don't know why, but my mouth never gets dry when I'm talking to friends, and then when I'm talking for the commentary here, and my voice just gets shot so easily. I don't know what's going on. Maybe it does. Maybe I just always have water with me. It's more just subconscious, all that stuff. Anyhow, that is what it is, though, I guess. Oh, I wonder, did I put my... Yeah, I did. I think that's good. It's charging. But anyhow, we are working our way to the Farlands at any rate. Getting to our destination. The same thing I've been going after for 7 months now. And I feel like the thing I've been kind of curious about the most with this series, I mean, it's not about the actual Farlands, funnily enough. It's just how much I'll be able to walk during the summer, because the summer was when I was able to get so much progress, but if I have a job and things, I'll have to see. And especially when I'm done high school for the most part, and I'm just doing my gap year sort of deal with this one semester thing going next year. I'm gonna have to kind of see what's going on with that and see if I can work in during the Farlands a bit nicer and maybe do a bit more stuff. I'll probably be working like full time at that point, like making some money so I'm not completely in the dark outside of university and stuff or whatever I do. I'm really uncertain. That's also partially why I took a gap year, because most people usually just throw the dart at the board or know what they want to do from a childhood passion. But my childhood passion is video games, and I don't know if I really want to pursue that. Like always playing video games, I might pursue making them. I've always had a bit of an intrigue in that video game design and things, but I don't know. Programming, yeah, we'll see. We'll see how I feel about it, because I'm taking another class on it next year, so I'll have to see how I feel about it. Because I did it over the pandemic, so it might be a bit different being able, or doing it in person now. That was like back in grade 11 too, when I didn't really fully, or no, that was in grade 11. That was grade 10. That was back when I was not really putting a full effort in. Like I tried, but I think I did okay in that class though. I don't know why this has just turned into a discussion about my whole academic life going on now, but whatever. That's where it's gone. That's where it is. How do you take down? Oh my god, this dog. I swear, I tell ya, Stuart is just a different breed of crazy. Yeah, let's go the safe route then. Friggin' Stuart. Let's go this way. I'm actually quite surprised I was able to keep him around so long. I mean, I've lost him twice now, but that was in short succession. I learned my lesson. I don't even take cooking breaks anymore, unless he's like super low on health and I don't have enough meat. But I feel like for the most part, I'm okay. I don't know if I really need to worry about cooked steak. I don't know if it makes much of a difference, because the raw steak, or no, the raw pork seems to be doing pretty good. I don't know why I call it steak. I guess I just call it steak because it looks like steak, but I think it's just, yeah, it's cooked pork chop is what it is. But the cooked pork chop looks like steak. And the raw pork chop actually looks like raw pork, so I'll give them points for that. I'll give them points. I'm judging Minecraft now, apparently. It's come to that. But yeah, I know most people just kind of pursue their childhood passion, like, you know, something like, or their dream, wanting to become a doctor, or wanting to become a lawyer, or wanting to go into fashion or film, or, you know, that kind of stuff. But I never really had anything like that. Like, I guess the closest would be art or video game design. Like some kind of programming thing, because I've always been into programming a little bit. Oh, they got some creepers though. But I don't know. There's nothing that's really pushing me towards going into stuff like that. Got the creeper of doom following us. The legion of creeperness. Let's see if I can break this up. Summoning forth the dog. Okay, we'll make a run for it. Atop the hill, up top the trees. Oh, we're testing fate by walking along the trees like that. Oh, look at this. Look at this, like, slice through the terrain. Like, just like a butter knife went through here. Actually, it's a bit more rough. Alright, I'm gonna take a screenshot of that. That's kind of cool. We're actually atop the kind of valley thing. The huge terrain formations. I was doing a little scouting, see if I could find a spawner, but I didn't. That's kind of also what I like to do. That's a little fun thing. A little fun thing that I definitely haven't mentioned 111 episodes ago. In episode 1 where I was like, yeah, it's kind of a fun little thing I do where I find spawners. I wouldn't remember that if I didn't actually go back and rewatch it. I rewatched episode 1 of Journey to the Farlands, and it's a bit different to how I do things now. I would definitely say things have changed. I'm still that kind of just rambly person. I just ramble on for an entire hour, but I've definitely changed in the way that I go about doing that. But some things never change, like my just saying all these random sayings. But that's kind of my thing at this point, my motif, if you will. Oh wow. That was really cool over there. I was having to make that my Discord. Oh, my Discord thing is my origin skin though. Whatever. We'll see. We'll see about how I feel because I may decide to just put it as the landscape. I usually just do my profile as like a picture from Journey to the Farlands anyway. But I was like, oh yeah, oh yeah. All together. Sorry, I was reading one of Devin's messages. The high school struggle. But anywho, it's something for sure. I definitely didn't think I would, like a year ago, definitely didn't think I would be doing YouTube. I never really wanted to do YouTube. I wasn't like one of those people who was like, oh yeah, I want to become a YouTuber. Like, when I was a kid, I never really wanted to be a YouTuber. Like, it's not that I didn't want to, I just didn't really have a particular reason to go about it. And even recently, like a year ago, like I said, I didn't really have that same motivation. So that's also a reason I've changed, or not reason, but like a way I have. And the really only reason it was just, I think the first reason I wanted to do like streaming like on Twitch first was just I liked being able to archive things so I could actually go back and rewatch them if I wanted to, and other people can watch them. Like, except for the sake of archiving Journey to the Farlands as well, it became useful in October, 2 months after I started Journey to the Farlands. So you don't even get to see the beginning of the series. That's just lost to time. And more Memorial. I never remember that word. Immorium. Is that the word? In memoriam. But yeah, since time immemorium. Yeah, very old. Yes, very old. Oh, I must have some kind of cold or allergies or something because I've been sniffling a lot. I've noticed in my videos. I've woken up with like a runny nose and sneezing, so I think I definitely have a cold from the cold temperatures because it's still pretty chilly out. I still my win. I took. Oh, that's probably why I took my winter comforter off because I started sweating in the night. And then little do I know that the day it's winter is still far from over for where I am here. Yeah, and yes, I actually get winter here in Canada, here where I live. But yeah, I get an actual like long winter. Like it's crazy. I think last year, well, we've had a pretty few crazy winters the past few years. Some of them have been shorter, but this one's been okay. It was a bit of a later start, but we're starting to get some nicer weather now finally. You can like go back to like when snow first started falling on the ground, or not first started, but like when it first started accumulating back when I was talking about winter break and things in December. You can go back to that. But yeah, definitely the weather's kept me a little bit ill. I'm not quite COVID sick because COVID hit me pretty hard. I was in bed for a lot of the time. Like I tried to get up and film Journey of the Farlands and I'd barely make it through an episode. Sickly sightseeing. I'm gonna have to go through that one. That will be definitely on my editing list because I've got some sick videos and not like sick in the term like cool. I mean, I definitely do have some sick videos that way, but I feel like the videos where I'm sick in them they could definitely be a bit edited because I'm coughing a lot and I'm like, oh, I'm sick. And I just make the entire episode about that because I'm selfish apparently. I'm not. I'm very not selfish, but yeah. But yeah, I'll definitely have to go through them. I might. I mean, the funny part of being able to go through old videos like that is how, or not old. That was 2 months ago. It's not even that old. It's only like 2 months old, so it's not like the old videos. It's just videos from just a few months ago. But it'll be kind of neat to see my illness again. Back when Sarber first started, when I had COVID. Oh, that's good. Good times. But Sarber was kind of the first series I wasn't on the bandwagon of making videos for, which is good. I mean, I don't know if it's good for you guys, but it's good for me because I enjoyed it. Well, it's not that I didn't enjoy other things, but I enjoyed being able to let loose a little bit and letting it be a bit more casual. That's what I kind of like about things like Final Life and Origins. I mean, Origins, yeah, I would consider streaming, but I don't know. People just, I don't know. It's just kind of become an agreed upon thing that just streaming it is a little iffy. And I do agree with people's stance on it, like my friends. No, and of course not yours, guys' stance. I haven't heard that, but yeah, I'm fine streaming with what I got here. And I like talking about that other stuff anyway. It's kind of fun to keep that conversation going because it gives me just another thing to talk about in episodes. Because I'm always looking for that, always looking for things to discuss and all that nature, all that fun things. Oh, just in the desert here, just just chilling, walking along, waltzing along the dry, plainy, sandy terrain here. Oh, I yeah, yes. I'm trying to. I was thinking about. I just take pauses just to think about things sometimes too. You notice that, I'm sure. But I was just trying to think of like moments. Oh, I forgot about it now. But it was something to do with like moments and things that stood out to me. But is it? I think I was thinking about titles. The video titles or videos or something that stood out to me or it's kind of that's a common thing I think about is just how many no commentary videos there are and like the titles for them, and I'm like, I wonder what it would have been like if that was an actual episode and all that jazz. But I got enough food on my plate with this stuff. You guys could put up with the names I come up with for no commentary episodes. And for the most part, I'm pulling them like just straight out of nowhere. Most of them just kind of making fun of something that happens in the video, or I'm just thinking about something that day, or I'm just in some mental state processing something. Then, yeah, I just kind of shift around a little bit. So, this episode will be probably, I've already kind of thought of a name I'm going to do, which will just be what I was talking about earlier, Old Reliable, or Old Reliable. I don't really have too many other options, so I'm just going to go with that. I think was discussing like doing like an hour and 40 minutes, but I might end it like at this day here so I can play on Sarber a little bit, like a good 30 minutes on Sarber. I kind of want to play on that a little bit, just kind of check in on things. So I'll do that after stream today, which will be in just a minute or two here. And I feel like I've kind of run out of things to talk about anyway. I'm kind of just starting to drift into more just the average menial things to talk about. So we're gonna wrap up the episode and I'll move on to some other stuff, and then maybe in a few days I'll get back with some edited content. Will probably be next week or maybe Sunday. If I'm lucky, it may get uploaded Sunday, but it'll probably just be Monday. So the next commentary will probably be Monday or maybe the weekend. We'll see if I have a lot to talk about. I usually try and conserve the commentary stuff for when I actually have things to say. Like today, I had stuff to talk about, like the editing and all that, and all the fun things, the developments with the new hardcore thing. I didn't really talk about that a lot, but you can go check out the video. I talk about it there. So yeah, make sure to go check that out. And I'm gonna just wrap it up here. So thank you guys for tuning into the episode here, episode 112. I've mentioned it a lot, but anywho, yeah, I'll see you guys next time.